A nutshell.
We gonna get into it. Hold on, we gonna get into
Okay.
it. We gonna get into it live because I know the people want it, and
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that when my team posted that you was gonna be on, I was like, oh, my boss surprised me. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I was just with her at Tiffany for her birthday, and because I've been seeing you for years, just really just seeing you out here, just man, just leaving your mark, and you just like a boss. Like oftentimes people say they are boss or they mavens, they moguls. And it ain't even just about your bank account, but one thing I love about you is your mindset. And if you have the right mindset, you will never be broke. And there's broken spirit, broke in your bank account, broke in your health. That's where your wealth truly lies.
In your mind.
Yes, ma'am, because that's where it's all about. See, they already on. I with my team. I don't know what happened to my new guy. I got a new guy. So we are live in the studio. I'm going to make sure that, yes, we are live and we are on Strong Arm Radio. Tonight I am all-in-one. I am handling the camera. I'm handling the board tonight. Hey, I got a superstar here in the building, and y'all know Davi, where I'm hitting the runway or the carpets, or if I'm hosting a celebrity event with you, a red carpet or not. Y'all know I get the exclusives, and tonight we got an exclusive with none other than the queen herself, the Duchess of Miami, Miss Annie, and it's an honor to be in the same space with this queen. Like, listen, I travel the country, and everybody know when you're from Miami, there's an expectation, like, they feel about women from Dade, but I can tell you one thing is this woman is about her business. She operates in excellence, and she does it in high fashion. So, sis, I'm going to tell you to go grab that mic, so that way, then when you talk those who can hear you on Strong Arm Radio, they can definitely hear you, because we got to talk it to the mic.
That's not right here.
Yes, yeah, that's it right there. And then the mic is your friend. Your friend. So I'm going to turn the camera around so y'all can see this beautiful eye candy, none other than the Duchess herself.
Hey.
Hey, mama, how you doing?
Amazing.
Oh,
And
man.
you?
I am great. I'm phenomenal. You definitely look amazing. So I want to thank you again. I know this is not early in the morning. This is not 11 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. But we are late night. And usually you are out on the scene having that Miami lifestyle. So thank you for taking the time out for being here on the radio with your girl.
I'm honored to just be invited. This is just the season to really connect with folks. So I accept invitations. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I was so upset that I missed the 100 Black Women in Business. I was actually out of town that weekend, and I remember at the end of her Tiffany birthday, and you was like, y'all come on out. I want to make sure y'all there. And I heard, like, everybody was talking about it. People are still talking about it. So you kicked off the new year telling women, hey, you need to network. You need to connect with other like-minded business women. How was that for you to create such a fabulous, swanky, powerful event?
Well, I can say that it was my partner, Tan Billionaire, who picked up the phone and was like, listen, friend, it's the new year, we got to do something. And I was drained from closing out 2019 and just the holidays and everything. And mentally, I wanted to just focus on launching my book. And she came up with a suggestion. She came up with the idea. So I just went ahead and I rocked with her on it. Two heads is better than one, iron sharpens iron. But when she came up with that idea, I thought it was perfect for the beginning of the year. And just what's going on in the world about entrepreneurship and how females was really, really taking it like so seriously. So I thought it was an amazing idea. Let's go ahead. We went after it and we crushed it. It was an amazing event. Like, people are already calling, asking when is the next one.
I love it. So you've been hosting events for a while in South Florida. So typically, when you host events, are you not only are you rocking the mic, but you putting every entity, every detail into the actual event?
I like production.
Okay.
So whenever I'm doing an event, it's never about me. It's always about everybody else. I would even hire a host, so I'm not even doing that. I would host, but more in the physical, with holding hands, rubbing elbows, connecting folks with each other, kind of almost like a missionary.
I love it.
So basically, I've been doing events probably since 2008.
Okay.
And they were small. Not all of them were, huge events or great success. but my network or my brand had grew so fast just from hosting networking events and parties, grown and sexy parties, all of that kind of stuff.
Your Miami Nights parties.
Yeah, which was amazing. And I like working with teams, so I won't take the credit for anything alone. Everything that I did, it was always some other people or somebody else that was working right there with me.
See, you said something when you were talking about your business. Okay, this is what I heard. Your brand grew exponentially because you were doing the work. You were presenting these events. And sometimes entrepreneurs, I don't know why, especially in this millennial age, everybody got that microwave mentality, feel like every event gonna have 250 people. Every event gonna be sold and packed out. How did you keep moving forward when you may have only had 10 people in the room, 5 people, 30 people, 50 people, 100 people in the room? Because entrepreneurs need to know, especially when they're launching, that it's always not going to be a sold out event. But your brand grew, which puts you in a different position because now you can have a funnel of access and net worth to people because you were doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say the times that, I've always felt like my events were a success.
Okay.
My mentality, it goes far beyond today. And I look at the people who's being impacted by those events. So I would say every event was a success.
I love it.
But the times that the crowd probably wasn't as large as other ones, how did that make me feel? That was the question.
Not make you feel, but how did you work through that? Because you see, I like the fact with you is a mindset. Not all entrepreneurs have that mindset. They feel like it's always in the numbers. But for you, like you said, you see the bigger picture. So how did you keep pushing forward when you may have expected, I knew this event should have been sold out, and then boom, 25 people or 50 people showed up, and in your mind you wanted 200. What was that mindset in that moment that it still was successful? Because to me, those intimate moments, man, it'd be firecrackers. It'd be like a momentum in there sometimes versus you still in the room, but you don't know who is in the room. You understand? The smaller room versus the bigger room. How did you push through that?
Well, the thing that really, really made me feel good is every event that I've ever hosted, I always open it for vendors.
Okay.
And I would kind of narrow it down. I would turn some vendors away, or I'll even act like I'm sold out or whatever. But it was always a method to my madness. I can, the feedback that I'm getting from the field, I would know. So I wouldn't get vendors who had products that were $50 and $60. It had to be like under $40. And what will make me feel good is that I will ask all vendors, did you make some money?
Right.
And if they made money, my job
is done. Yes, ma'am.
Because when I launched Filthy Rich Life, it was to provide a platform for folks who had their own product, service, or brand, and to help to give them a platform to learn to introduce their products, learn to share their products with other people. So this will probably be brand new entrepreneurs and people who weren't that comfortable speaking to crowds. People who did not know what a setup should look like going to a vendor event. So my events was giving them that jump start, like the preschool. Anybody who came to my event, by the time they came to my second or third one, they set up was totally different. The first time, they probably had a tablecloth and they products just on the table. That second time, they probably have their brand on their tablecloth. That third time, they got a pop-up banner, they got lights, they got signage.
Right.
They grew.
The build.
So every event, I felt like I had an impact on somebody's life or someone's business. So that was the success because that was my mission statement, to provide that platform for those entrepreneurs.
I love that. So being that you are a Miami native, what life situations, I know in the book, I know you want to give too much, so we're going to get into your book, but what created your mindset? What was those things that fashion the way you think and the way you handle your business and the way you put others on?
Well, my mother and my father are from the West Indies. My father's from an island called St. Kitts.
Okay.
And my mom is from an island called Curacao. So I had real island parents. So all I knew was to work. And my dad came over to the United States, and he's a contractor, one of the best I know. Of course, he's my dad, right? But he also was a very good hustler. So my dad sold dope, and he built houses with his dope money. He really changed his life. But my dad went to prison. And when my dad went to prison, my mom was working a lot, 5 kids, this house that my daddy started, but he didn't get to finish. So basically, all I seen my mom do was work. All I seen my dad do was work. So I knew whatever I needed, I had to go to work. So no matter, not everything that I did was pleasing, but I was working. I was grinding. I was hustling. I was moving and shaking, and that's all I knew. So as I got older and, was exposed to different walks of life, different people, in different genres, I knew that I would grow to be a better person, a better businesswoman. So I just kept going.
Okay.
And it just was like a never stop mentality, because you never arrive. Whenever you get to whatever your goal was, once you get there, you realize that, you know what, I lack so much more. You have to keep going. Once you get to that next milestone, I'm lacking so much. I need to know so much more. So that's one of my drives right there.
And that is awesome. So you were saying when we started out the interview that you was a little burnt out in the 2019. You was ready to launch this book. Why now did you want to present your story to the world right now?
Well, it wasn't right now. I wanted to do this 10 years ago.
Okay.
And God has his timing for everything.
Yes, goodness.
Throughout those 10 years, I completed the book once, and once I got the physical book in my hand, I was not in love with it. I was like, this is not me. And granted, I did have a ghostwriter, and she was an older Christian woman. So she was a great writer. But however, she tried so hard to tap into my personality and my character to just nothing sounded like me.
Got you.
So I put it back on the shelf, and that's when I was exposed to multi-level marketing. And, I grew a network of people who weren't from my walk of life. So I went through a period where I wanted to hide what I've been through. I wanted to hide who I was inside. So I hid that for a few years. And then after that plateaued, I got into a relationship where he wasn't pleased with my story. So he didn't want me to tell my story. So I put it back on the shelf to please him. That relationship went nowhere. And then finances was the issue. I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the mental capacity, because at this point, I'm no longer an entrepreneur. I'm back in the working field. I'm back in the dental office. So I didn't feel like telling the story again. I didn't feel like I accomplished anything. I went backwards. And then after that, I gained the finances that I needed, but I just kept missing my deadline. And so this time, and God had his perfect timing, because the book was supposed to launch for my birthday, then not for my birthday, January 26th for the 100 Women in Black event. None of my books were ready. Everything was ready. My books did not arrive.
What?
And so, just a long story short, when I finally got my approval, my proof of the book, it was February 17th. And on February 17th, I went, just before I went and did a Future 11 Hip Hop. And on February 17th, I got the view, the clipping of that. So everything just happened on the same day.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it was just a coincidence.
So you had, oh my goodness, that's super dope. And then so now you mentioned it. So I've been talking about how me personally, I had to force myself to watch Love and Hip Hop Miami this year because everybody's always asking, everybody's talking about it, and being one who's really immersed in different culture entertainment, I got to be on what's going on and what's popping, and so I was curious to know how you felt because a lot of people were definitely talking about your feature on Love and Hip Hop. What was that like for you, and did you experience like most people experienced, did not like how you were edited to look like on the actual show?
Well, I'll tell you this. It was definitely not planned.
Okay.
I was invited on to speak with Prima Donna. She's just like my niece, my hip hop niece.
Yeah.
And I've always supported her in everything that she does. And when she came home, she was like, "Listen, Annie, I want to film with you. Just me coming back in the city. Let's just have a heart to heart." But last time we saw each other was years ago here in Miami. I was in a relationship with MJ.
Okay.
So when she came back, she's now on the show with him and his new girlfriend, which is Amada. However, when she asked me about it and I shared my experience with how my relationship was with MJ, and I felt like Armada, was kind of walking down that same road, which granted is none of my business, right? But I do believe that, she probably, I think that she should have heard because no one told me. Well, somebody did tell me, and I didn't listen, and I end up going through that same thing that they told me about. So I was like, well, I tell her, like, because I see what's going on or whatever. Granted, he's not a bad guy.
Right.
He's not a bad guy. He's a struggling artist. And when I use that term draining, it wasn't just a financial draining. It was a draining where he was just all into doing things with his career when nothing else mattered at all. So by me being a single mom and a working woman, it was just all on me, which that was just so draining. Like, come on, man, real life is happening over here while you over there. And I supported him so much, and I ain't crying over spilled milk.
Okay, sis.
I'm over it. I was just sharing my story. However, fast forwarding to the lunch date, my disposition probably would have been a little bit aggressive according to what was shown. And I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus because I'm Team Armada all day long. And I believe in women supporting their men.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I believe in women supporting their men. But I think the energy with just, the ex-chick coming to the table, Prima Donna, it threw the energy off. All, haywire. So all what everybody was able to see was, well, honey, this is what's up.
Right.
And granted, I am an aggressive woman. So you give me some energy, I'm going to give you back 10 times. But I do understand her at the same time. But, because of conversation, I was asked what happened. And I shared what happened. I didn't tell her to go home and kick her man out. Because granted, in relationships, it's always somebody that's better financially than the other person.
Yep.
And you don't get to pick and choose who that is. And that's not what love is evaluated on. However, in this day and time, there's so many people, I'm not going to just say men, women do it too. But we're talking about a man, right?
Right.
That get support from people and you forget where you come from. You forget to pay homage. You forget to, throw somebody a bone.
Hello.
Go ahead and invite us into a party or something like that. I ain't trying to, ride on nobody's coattail. But however, I was there. I didn't lie about anything. And I'm not bitter. But I do feel like, come on, man. It's too many people around the world that's doing that stuff. And a lot of men is doing this to women. I'm not male bashing.
Right.
But you see a woman probably living in Section 8. She cooking food with her children's food stamps. She wasting her gas, letting you use her car, helping you out. But then you get $2 over your lunch money and you forgot where you came from.
Oh my God, she may need some on lunch money.
You come back and say, you know what? Let me go buy you a new refrigerator.
Hello.
Because I was in and out you and your children's refrigerators so much. And then, you know, he felt need to go and defend himself to make me look some type of way. And I care not to even address it because, granted, I didn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
So when you show me where the lie is, we could go back and forth. The lie was when he said I was a cheater. We wasn't cheat. I didn't cheat on him. I had already checked out.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to figure out how the living arrangements was going to go. But that whole scene right there was something that really made me look at, you know, just life. And just look at being able to communicate with other women and not allow the energy to take over, because at the end of the day, when that kind of episode is shown, that's all that people know
and remember
about you.
Right.
And I'm not here to defend myself to the world, because I don't care. People going to talk regardless. But I did not go on there to break up or ruin a relationship. And I did not go on there to try to make Amada feel bad.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, because, you know, it takes a grown woman to be able to sit here and say that, period. And so that speaks volumes. When those people who know you, who've been watching you for years, know your character and know who you are. Because guess what? Put in somebody else in that same situation, guarantee you a similar situation can go forth like that, like you human, you know?
And I am human, because I know the type of woman I am. Any woman just can't sit with me and
I know that.
nothing. And at the end of the day, you know, you gotta be 100 out here with yourself. You gotta defend yourself and defend your pride, possessions, whether your man, your woman, your kids, your mom, your daddy, whatever. When I asked where he worked at, she should have said her job was him taking care of her. Shit, I didn't know.
Right.
But I wasn't trying to tear her down. And I will tell her that if I ever get the opportunity to. And I wish MJ the best of luck with his career. I do. I believe in him wholeheartedly.
All right, because you are definitely building your own empire. You are out here getting your coin. You out here, the bag is already secured, and you helping other women to secure their bag. I love that your shirt that says, "Thou shall get her own money, hustle 24/7." Are you selling these shirts?
Yes.
Ma'am, that's on your website?
They not on my website yet.
I need one.
Oh, God. I mean, I've been selling out these shirts like crazy.
I need one.
And I've been really promoting them, but this is what I believe is going on with every woman.
My goodness.
In this season. We're going to get our own money.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not going to depend on no man
to
pursue our dreams. Nobody will tell us no. We planted all of our seeds last season.
Yes.
Our harvest is this season.
Yes, it is.
But we got to put in a lot of work. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of good days and a lot of bad days. But it's all going to build us for what we need in this season.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I believe that. Feel it. It's already happening. It's already manifesting. And I need my shirt. I'm saying that again. I need my shirt. So, sis, this book, because people got to get this book. I know I got to get my book, too, because I always, anybody that's selling a book, matter of fact, to get a book done, because I'm working on my book launches next month. Same story as you. Every time I go to go put it out, and I'm like, man, this ain't it. Even my birthday, it didn't happen. But like you said, God timing is infinite. And when it's supposed to drop, it's supposed to drop. And that is so sexy. That is so Miami. The Duchess of Miami. Death before dishonor. I like Death before dishonor. Ma'am, you was out there heavy hitting it. So what can our readers expect from your memoir? It's a memoir. It's a tale about your life, just spin off in a different way, because you said you had a ghostwriter and she didn't tell that story the way you felt like it should have been told.
Well, let me tell you this. Well, this story, it tells about the Magic City.
Okay.
So the Magic City is everything that Miami was before the millennium.
Yes.
Okay? This tells about the real hustlers, real killers, real dope boys. This is the other side of the bridge, definitely. So this gives you the dark side, the grit and the grime of coming up in Miami.
In the 90s was real.
And I did everything. I designed, I styled myself. I came up with what I wanted my book to look like, all of that stuff. What prompted me to write in this book was because I was in a home invasion. I was in a relationship and I had a home invasion in my home where my sister was shot, my niece was shot, my nephew was shot, my cousin and her son was shot. They didn't survive, and I was shot. So all of us were shot, execution style. And going through that, I was shot in both of my hands and in my face. So I couldn't be out and about. I was stuck in the house for probably like 4 months. And just the talk in the streets and people talking. So I kind of had to isolate myself for safety. The guys who did the home invasion were still out on the run. And it was very therapeutic with me because what I did was it was more like journaling. Back in the day when we used to write in our diaries. So now everybody say journaling. So that's what I was doing. So basically I just started writing about how I felt. My mouth was wired, so I couldn't talk. So I had to write everything. So I went through about 3 months of communicating through writing on notepads to communicate with my family and things like that. So I started journaling my days and how I felt, what I was going through. And I started going on and on and on. And in the midst of that, I started sharing it with some friends because only a certain amount of friends, a certain circle of friends, was coming to the house. I go to their house. They would take care of me, babysitting me, all that kind of good stuff. And it was like, why don't you just write a book? And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Not thinking anything much of it, but I was introduced to a ghostwriter. So it's my word.
Okay.
She just put the spin on it.
Gotcha.
But she wasn't edgy enough to tell my story the way I wanted it to be told.
Okay.
So that's how that happened. But this book was definitely, I designed the cover myself. And granted, this is my third cover.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Every cover, I had a visual of what I wanted to look like. What story did I want my picture to tell? And of course, the Duchess of Miami is not a glamour story. But however, it is a woman of class who stood her own grounds, who had her own rights. She made her own rules, okay?
Okay.
So whatever I wanted to do, I would do it, whether it was right or wrong. But living that lifestyle, I mean, I've conquered so many obstacles. And I've been through so many tests that allowed me to come out to have a testimony. So I feel like I prepared my own throne for myself. So that's where the glamour of the Duchess of Miami came in.
Wow. Girl, Susan Budd is on here. First of all, as long as I've been following you, I never knew that story. And wow, I am over here all girl like tear. Listen, to be that close to death and have all this life that you put out, you are not only you're an aesthetically beautiful woman, but when you walk in the room, your light illuminates. And so when I finally, because I've been watching you on social media, but to sit at the table, and that night, you don't understand that night for me, because Tiffany, that's my girl. But when I looked across the table, and I know Tiffany is always around moving and shaking, I said, God, Anna's at this table, like, seeing you at the table, I was like, because usually when I'm at with Tiffany, I'm with the family. So to see, other business women and women that's out there that I've been admiring, I said, God, what is you about to do for 2020? That was for me. Because anytime I sit at the table with somebody, stuff happens. And my 2020 been stupid. So I just want to say that I honor you, man, to hear how God saved your life and understanding that you lost so much in that home invasion, and you still show up, not for just for yourself, but you show up for others. And just hearing the tale of your book, when I was growing up, the first time I picked up a book and started reading, it was Fly Girl by Omar Tyree. And so the girl character, she was a pretty girl, and she went through that fast life in Philly, and it was just like, when I'm hearing that book was like a bestseller. It was flying off the shelf. And that's the same feeling by you just giving me a snippet of your book. Like, I can see young girls in Dade. Like, I can see them at the West. I can see them at Jackson. I can see them at Carrollton. I can see folks for the memorial reading your book and, like, inspired to be like, you know what, I'm a girl from Dade, but my life is larger than what's across this bridge.
And you making that statement, in this day and time, everything's so digital now. So folks don't want to pick up a book and read it anymore because you have ebooks now. You have audibles, which is amazing. And I'm going to be there, right? But however, there's a lot of people that write books these days, and it's not a true story, so people do not know how to embrace the story. They don't know how to appreciate the story, and they don't appreciate paying for it. And granted, you will have, like, you know, ebooks and things like that, and I'm not here to rob anybody, but however, how could I give my story away for free when it costs me and my family our life?
Say that.
You know, this is a real life story. Like, I didn't glamorize the story. I didn't fix it up. This book will take you on an emotional roller coaster. I mean, ups and downs. It'll talk about those times when I was jealous and I just did the stupidest thing of going fighting my baby daddy new girlfriend. It will talk about me having sex with men and it was just frivolous sex. You know, it will talk about me trafficking 40 kilos of cocaine to Texas for a married man and go to jail all the way in Texas with a $500,000 bond. You know, I talk about my dad in a relationship on my mom, and I'm watching, you know, women come there with my dad snorting cocaine. So this story is just, it's not glamorized at all. It's talking about women turning to the strip club. I talked about me becoming a stripper because I wanted attention. So I'm not sugarcoating anything in the book at all. You know, a lot of writers, and I'm not downing any writer, I don't even know all of them. All I know is me. Where the stories are created and they're made up stories. Right. This is not a made up story. It's not a glamorized story. It's going to make you laugh, cry, be mad. You might even be mad at me. But it will allow a younger woman to know what life is like for real in them streets. Okay? The streets don't love you.
Sure, it's a cold place, baby.
The streets don't love you. So niggas ain't nice in the streets, don't love you.
No, they don't.
Plain and simple as that. So this book will, you know, and I'm really trying to really get into the literary world and being able to present my product to younger women, because I do believe I'll be judged when, you know, other women or other people read the book. They may feel like it's just a little bit too explicit for them, but they need to know this. They need to know this because there's young girls in high school that's doing some things that grown women are not doing because they see the glamour.
Say it.
So now they want to jump in the car with such and such because he in a double R, right? But not knowing what happens when you get home with him and look good. So if they don't hear the story from somebody who lived that life, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay, not all the time you going to the strip club, you was leaving with $1,000 or $2,000, and I don't care what no stripper say. There were days that you went home with $200, and if you didn't, you made it your business to have your dates or after party or whatever you want to do to meet your quota. And this book is going to show the dark side to the Magic City.
And you know, the bravest thing that you can do is the courage to tell your story, whether it's dark, beautiful, ugly, and different. You know, one thing I can say about the millennial age and younger women, we want that transparency. I want to know, because guess what? If I'm contemplating to take it on the dark side, sis, that may not be where you want to be. And so I think that's the way of paying it forward, to make sure that you leave in the market. Say, you know what, I went through all this and that. I learned it the hard way, the school of the hard knocks. I want to make sure that another young sister don't have to learn it that way. Maybe she can see, now she can make an informed decision if she want to take that route. Sis, now you know what awaits you on the other side. And it could be a lot more worse than what I went through.
That's true. And that's another thing. It's just like women getting, you know, when they were all getting the butt jobs, and all other women would see this woman with this nice figure, but nobody used to tell about the health issues that they was having. Now people are sharing that. But what if women shared those stories 10 years ago when they was getting butt injections in the back room, a lot of women wouldn't do it. All they seen was that silhouette of a woman like, oh my gosh, she had the body to die for. Look at her ass. And not knowing that she was having night sweats, you know, every night.
Wow.
She was having some type of nerve complications in her legs, discoloration to her skin. Now they telling the story. Now these women thinking twice. They going to the doctor. They getting it the right way. We have to tell those stories. And I hesitated about telling my story so many times because I started to evolve outside of South Florida.
Yes.
And started networking and rubbing elbows with women who were from different places. It was like they dare not, you know, live their lifestyle. But God kept giving it back to me.
Yes, ma'am.
He kept giving it back to me. Like, God, you ain't telling me to tell the story, and this ain't gonna do nothing for me. Now, do you know I'm putting my money in jeopardy because I know people are going to judge me. I didn't know if a woman from Baltimore, Boston, I mean, all these other places, all these other cities and states that were highly professional, super duper educated, will they still want to gel and lock elbows with me? I don't know that. But he kept putting it on my heart. And I know right now in this day and time, entrepreneurship is very, very high. And if you didn't have your own product, your own service, or your own brand, you will not be a millionaire in this day and time.
Tell it.
You won't.
You won't.
And
it's a fact.
Let's put away being a millionaire. Have a filled up cup.
A filled up cup.
You will not fill your cup if you didn't have your own thing going on outside of your or whatever. This is my only product. This is it. It's me.
Let me tell you, it's I'm a firm believer in that because although my story may not have been as colorful as yours, but my story, I was battling too because I'm not only in the public world, I'm not only in the entertainment world, but I'm also in the church world. And for me, I know they are the most judgmental people. I've got the most pushback from the time I was young trying to figure out my story and faith walk and me living in my truth because I experienced some dark stuff from young. And so I get you. And the same thing with investors and people. But one thing that I know, if God told you to do it, God is going to sustain you. God going to blow your mind. God going to flip it exponentially. Your mind is going to be blown because there are women that's waiting to hear your story. There are audiences. There's platforms, major platforms here across that water, across that Atlantic, across that Pacific Ocean. You hear what I'm telling you? You travel the world as a businesswoman. And guess what? Think about it, there's a lot of women that you hobnobbing with. They got their stories. They ain't telling their stories, but they done been through it. So they going to connect with you. They going to sow them seeds. They going to keep putting you up on platforms, whether they be a silent supporter or not. Your story has purpose, and so many young girls and some dudes, because guess what? Some dudes, they pick up their book and read. They going to see themselves in that book too.
Oh, they will. They will.
Girl, you getting hearts. You getting hearts. Folks saying congratulations on your book. Can't wait to read it. Tell the folks we here listening, those who are listening by way of Strong Arm Radio, looking at Late Night with Davi on Facebook. Tell the folks how they can get your book and when you drop your website, how they can follow you on social media.
Well, my website is duchessofmiami.com. That's DUCHESS of Miami.com. And also, I am on Instagram at Duchess of Miami _.
All right.
DUCHESS, because everybody like to put the T in there. But it's DUCHESS on Instagram. And the book is not a tell-all.
Okay.
It's a tell-a-lot because, for one, I didn't want the book to be too big, for one. So I had to not tell some stories. And some things are involving people I didn't want to call their names. They not around to defend themselves or to give me the okay. So I just left that story out.
Right.
And then some things is just so deep that, you know what, some things you just got to bury the hatchet, right? So, but what's in this book is going to please the readers.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to getting your book and reading it and putting it up there on the shelf with my other Miami queens that are actually making a difference. Because, man, to tell you that book, I same thing with me trying to figure out I don't want to do online internet. yeah, that'll be there. But for me, it's something about flipping my fingers through them pages and bending the book that I need. I need that hard copy. So is there anything else you would like to say before we go ahead and close out your segment here on Late Night with Davi?
Right. I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me here. And this is your copy of Duchess of Miami.
Girl, you gonna have to sign that, baby. Girl, you got to sign that for me, girl.
And I'll be launching my sign and release. It will be at Bar 1.
Okay.
Yeah, but my sister-in-law passed, so her funeral was Saturday, which was going to be on Saturday, so I had to push the date back. But I'll be promoting it on my social media handles very, very soon. So just lay around for it, and I definitely want you to be there.
Oh, definitely, girl. As soon as you drop that date, I need to know, because girl be out in these streets. But I definitely Carmen Benefield, people saying they appreciate me for allowing people to be themselves and speak their truth. Camilla Spence, another powerful sister in the political and social world. She said she is looking forward to getting the book. So when I'm telling you, I know Camilla also is around a lot of young women intergenerationally. And so when she's saying she's going to get the book, we're going to make sure that we have young women out here getting your book. And we need to tell these folks, so those people who are trying to figure out like me, when them shirts going to drop, thou shall get her own money, hustle 24/7. Will it be on the website when it drops?
Well, I already have the shirts. They're not on my website
yet. Okay.
Like I said, I've been selling them like crazy. So right now, I do have some, but I do have to re-up.
Okay.
And once I have that re-up, I'll be putting it on the website.
All right. Well, I'm getting mine. I'm letting you know I'm getting mine.
But the books are available now.
Okay.
On the website. Yes,
I saw that in the website. It's fly. Now, wait a minute. Now pick up your phone. I see about Brandon, right? So my eyes caught. Sis got her own case. So did you get your case made down here in South Florida?
Yes, a young lady who was at the 100 Women in Black event. Her name is JoJo.
JoJo.
She make the mouse pads. She make the telephone cases, the pens, the tablecloths, backdrops, retractables, everything.
Okay.
So, yep.
I like that. I'm seeing that. So for Brandon. So shout out for JoJo out somewhere out of date.
She's in for a lot of.
She's in for a lot of date. You know her social media handle?
Let me look for her.
See, you see how we plugging this in? You're doing it for the free. Here on Late Night with them.
JoJo _ the T distributed. Yeah.
JoJo. All right, guys. So we talking about JoJo _ the _ TTEA _ distro DISTRO. Again, JoJo _ the _ T _ distro. So we're gonna make sure that we support other Black, brown businesses, especially our women. Not only for the month of March, but 366 this year, 365 on the next 3 years, and on and so forth. We definitely need to make sure that we put our coin back in our own communities and make sure that our queens are making sure they're leaving legacies and feeding their kids good, because we'll make sure that everybody else feed their kids good, and we want to sleep on our own. We need to stop that. So I don't know what Facebook. Okay, I see what Facebook just did. So guys, we had a good time here in the studio, and we thank you, Ann, for your time, for coming on in with Late Night with Davi. Thank you for blessing me with the book. I know the guy is going to exponent that thing 10 times over. So we got some folks already on the thread, so they about to get their book. They're definitely getting the book. So shout out to Ty Live Entertainment for my PR that keeps me connected to the right people. Yeah, Ty might be out there making some money, or that money hitting her bank account while she sleep. So I want to thank you again. I want to shout out again Tiffany Nash by Knickknacks by Nash, to whom was actually one of my first brands that I was a brand ambassador for with Nelson Inc. So shout out to Tiff, and I saw that you were on her show, and she got an exclusive with you as well. And yes. I like that. That.
We are definitely getting connected out here in South Florida.
All right.
That's what it's about this season. Connecting and making new friends.
Yes, connecting new friends. So for all of y'all who say no new friends, now, what constitutes no new friends? It means no negative people, nobody that's out here helping you expand your business and you not being able to help them expand their business. That's when it's no new friends. Right. But other than that, you need to connect for world domination. Let's go ahead and get our own money, ladies. All right? Yeah. Okay. So we kicked off Her Story Month by telling her story. And don't forget to make sure to cop that book at Duchess. It's DuchessofMiami.com. See, that girl got that. All right, JoJo. So don't be surprised. when you see you getting some business. So don't forget your girl Late Night with Davi. And we want to say salute your queen. Go get your coin, secure the bag. Love and light. God bless you all. I'll see you next week here live in the studio.